So let me do a demo. One of the fun things about iTunes is we keep improving it every several months and building in new features. And we're going to introduce, I want to show you a little sneak peek. We haven't introduced this yet. We'll roll it out in the next 60 days or so. How many of you here use an iPod? Let's start there. Oh, great.
Bill, is your hand up?
That's okay. How many of you know what podcast? How many of you heard of podcasting? Great. How many of you actually know what it is? Okay. How many of you have listened to a podcast? And how many of you have actually subscribed to a podcast? Okay, great. So let me start at the beginning and tell you what this is all about. Podcasting is a word that's concatenation of iPod and broadcasting, right? Put together podcasting. And what podcasting is, it's started off as Wayne's World for radio. Think of it that way, right? Where you've got anybody could make a radio show and put it on the internet and broadcast it out there and anybody else could listen to it. And then what you could do is, because people like to put out multiple episodes of their radio show, you could subscribe to a radio show, and every time it's updated, you'll get the update right on your computer, and it'll go into your iPod when you sync your iPod, right? Pretty cool.
Or competing music player, not just an iPod.
The few of them out there.
Yeah. Okay.
And so then what's happened since is that it's not just the Wayne's World of radio, but real radio is jumping onto this. It's getting very, very exciting. Let me read you some stats. I have a little thing over here with some little factoids on it. And so, first of all, there was a Pew survey done last month. 29% of US iPod users had listened to a podcast. Not necessarily subscribed to one, but listened to one. Now, the reason they hadn't subscribed to one was because you have to get a third-party app and download it on top of iTunes, and that does the subscription stuff, and it's kind of a pain. But there's millions of people that have done this. And there's over 8,000 podcasts today. It's kind of interesting. There's no FCC regulation because you're not using Spectrum. You're using the internet, so that makes it very simple. It's worldwide. You can put your radio show out there, and anyone in the world can listen to this. And if you Google podcast, 6.2 million entries in Google on podcasting, which is kind of fun. So again, it's sort of like TiVo for radio for your iPod. And you just subscribe to these things. Great. So let me show you what it's like. This is the next release of iTunes called Release 4.9, and I'm just going to run it right now. And what we can do is we go to the music store, and we can, this is not a live music, this is not the music store that's live for everybody else, it's a little private one for us here. And there's a little thing called podcasts right here. You click that, and we've got a page full of podcasts right here. And so some of these are real podcasts, others like the Walt one we just made up. So here's one as an example, KCRW. This is a public radio station. You just click on it, and here are their 3 latest shows, and you can just listen to one, or you can subscribe to one. You just push the button. They're all free, and we've just subscribed to this podcast, and we go up here to the podcasts, and here's, the latest one.
This podcast of The Treatment is a production of KCRW Santa Monica at 89.9 FM and webcasting at kcrw.com.
From KCRW in Santa Monica, this is The Treatment.
So anyway, let me just play a little more for it. And these are just really cool radio shows coming off of very professional radio broadcasts. We've got Clear Channel, Infinity, Sirius, NPR are all doing podcasts now, BBC.
And these are all free?
These are all free. Newsweek is doing podcasts. Business Week is doing them. Forbes is doing them. Washington Post, Denver Post, Seattle Post are doing podcasts. Philadelphia Daily News, San Francisco Chronicle. Disney, when they wanted to get the word out on their 50th anniversary, did a podcast. It's pretty amazing.
And you have this subscribe, unsubscribe, these
That's
buttons.
correct.
I presume they could be used if you were to eventually get into selling paid audio stuff.
Well, you could try to sell podcasts, but the whole phenomenon is so great, it's free. Okay. And I think what we're going to see is an advertising-supported model emerge just like free radio. Here's another. Adam Curry is one of the guys that invented podcasting. And he has a podcast called The Daily Source. Let me go ahead and subscribe to that. And we can go listen to his latest one. Just click on it.
Your daily source code, show number 180.
Something remarkable is happening here. Radio is springing free of the regulated gatekeepers who've managed, what you can hear since radio was invented. It's jumping into the hands of anyone at all with something or nothing to say.
With $16 million worth of airplane strapped to my ass, and the next generation radio content in my ears,
We don't need no stinking transmitter.
I like to think I'm flying into the future.
Podcasting. It's Adam Curry. That's right. It's show number 180, and it's Friday, everybody. Thank God. I've actually had to restart the show 3 times. My Mac has been acting up like a motherfucker. I don't know what's going on. I think it's something to do with the file system.
Okay.
How do you control, say, dirty stuff? I mean, what do you,
We're going to have an explicit flag on these like we do the music, so you can know if it's explicit.
so I can find it easier.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, good. Thanks.
You know, we're going to start one here on New Music Weekly that we've got. And let me just show you one of the features. So let me go ahead and subscribe to this and go back here, and we can just play, new. By the way, if you want to get an old one, you can just go download an old one if you want, but usually it's just the latest one you're getting. And we've got artwork on these things, too, down here. And we can scrub through, and you can actually, the artwork can change as you're going through these things. You even have chapters, that you can go through and, And you can even click on the artwork and actually go to the music store where a part of a song might be playing if you want to buy it, et cetera, et cetera. Right?
You produced that yourselves.
What's that? This one we produced ourselves, yeah.
Are you going to produce a lot more or just
No,
rely?
no. There's the community out there is phenomenal. Here's one we did for Walt. That's fun. We just got Walt to record his column yesterday, and again, I have a
This
feeling.
is exciting stuff, I have to tell you.
Well, I bet you'll be podcasting your column in the not too distant
like
future.
I need more work. Yeah.
This is Walt Mossberg, and this is Personal Technology from the Wall Street Journal. Personal Technology for May 5th, 2005. A guide to using RSS, which helps you scan a vast array of websites.
So Walt's going to have to up his production value here a little bit, but we'll get
I
there.
was going to say, that was riveting. That held me.
And again, all these
We'll
things.
have a string quartet, back there. And
All these things sync up with your iPod every time you sync your iPod. So you can get these radio shows, you can subscribe to them. Every time there's a new one, it'll automatically come onto iTunes and automatically go on your iPod the next time you sync it. And remember, this has been really hard to do so far. You've got to download this third-party app, and it's pretty crufty. And I think, already millions of people are subscribing to these podcasts, and I think this is just going to send it into orbit.
And this will be on both Mac and Windows.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as you get a lot of them, as opposed to songs, I know there's a lot of songs, but there's, I think, 10 million blogs at this point. This is going to go, how do you manage that? I mean, in terms of the size that it becomes, from your perspective. Is it something
Well,
that's
because
easily managed?
in order to subscribe to one of those podcasts, it has to be offered in your
How do
store.
people find
No,
things?
that's not true. No, these podcasts don't need to be hosted by us.
Not hosted by it, but it
Right.
has to
Find
appear in
them.
the UI of the store
Correct.
as a list.
Yes.
So how do people register their podcast with you or get them included in your
We're
offer?
going to have a service where they can submit them very efficient, in a very automated way.
And do you expect hits to happen? I mean, the hits naturally happen the way they do in...
And we'll be able to highlight, what are the 20 most popular podcasts today, this, that, and, there's editorial that goes along with this stuff too. So we can highlight